All right, one big, beautiful bill obviously just got dropped and was signed. We're going to dive super, super deep into all of this. I want us to think about whether we like it or love it, whether we're blue or red. Just this thing is so massive, right? We're going to talk about trillions of dollars that were changes in taxes, deductions, energy policy. And here's the real big question: if you're looking to purchase a home, what does it mean for you, for your money, your mortgage, your ability to buy, refi, invest, whatever the case may be? I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible and super straightforward. This is coming from me. I eat, sleep, breathe this stuff. Here's the deal. Obviously, this bill just poured close to $3 trillion back into our system over the next 10 years. Obviously, with this type of spending, guys, it's not going to come super cheap, right? The bond market knows it. Obviously, we're seeing 10-year treasury yields start to jump. And in case we forgot, right, that is the driving force of interest rates when it comes to drive the market. Now, if we're sitting on the sidelines, if you're a homeowner, as I shared earlier, waiting for 2 or 3% interest rates to come, it's not going to happen, right? Unfortunately, that was overinflated numbers. That's during a time during COVID with those artificial rates. Rates are going to remain sticky, okay? Because again, this type of spending is going to fuel inflation. Inflation obviously keeps the Federal Reserve nervous. We know later on this month they will be meeting. We know obviously the goal is for the Fed to cut. Will it happen? Probably not anytime soon, right? And now let's dive into taxes. One of the biggest wins in this bill is obviously what's called the SALT cap. That's your state and local tax deduction. It just got bumped from 10,000 to 40,000 for those making under $500,000. So if you're in states like New York, New Jersey, or California, again, where taxes continue to go through the roof, this is huge, right? It means obviously that we're going to have more ability for our property taxes, and our state income taxes can now be deducted, which again is a point that's going to give you a better shot at qualifying for a mortgage. More write offs, lower taxable income, better debt to income, stronger approval odds, right? Makes sense. A bunch of little stuff also that might seem small, but they're going to add up. Those who are waiters, so if you get tip income, you can actually now deduct up to $25,000 a year. Overtime, deduct up to $12,500. Interest on cars, which is interesting, up to $10,000 a year through 2028. And then again, if you're over 65 years old, you're going to get an extra $6,000 of a deduction on top of truly everything else. Other stuff to talk about, right? We have the child tax credit, right? Where they're actually going to be potentially giving a tax credit of $2,200 a child. That's now obviously going to be tied to inflation. And here's a crazy one. I love this. $1,000 new created investment accounts for newborns. It's going to be called the Trump account. Not literally, not even making this up. It's going to be a tax deferred account that again can grow until the child is 18 years old. Now, of course, these are obviously a lot of things that are going to swing the housing market. Probably not, but they will be affecting families. Of course, you're going to be able to breathe a lot easier, and it's going to affect, of course, lending patterns and just buyer behavior. Other incentives like energy was a big one too, right? The bill cut a lot of green energy savings. I own a Tesla myself, so I was lucky to actually get that $7,500 federal credit. That supposedly is no longer going to be there. I think it's starting September. Medicaid, SNAP, and risk factors, right? That's a big change that happened. We know, obviously, a lot of people tend to depend on the federal government when it comes to Medicaid or SNAP. They're tightening those requirements and obviously reducing eligibility for millions and millions of Americans. From a mortgage perspective, right, that's a little bit of a red flag, right? People are going to lose some of that safety net that they were depending on. They're more likely going to either fall behind on their credit card payments, or they're going to fall behind on even potentially mortgage payments. As they fall behind, defaults are going to go up, especially in some of those blue collar, lower income areas. So important for us to obviously keep an eye on those risk models. Now, from a mortgage industry perspective, here's the important part, right? Mortgage rates are more than likely probably going to still stay sticky, right? It's going to be a little higher. We know the bill practically guarantees that for a short term, right? We know buyers in high tax states, of course, are now going to have an advantage, right? We're going to be able to push that SALT deduction, right? The state and local tax deduction in some of the strategy calls we have with our clients. Cash flow from deductions are obviously going to help borrowers, right? We're going to show our clients how they can, of course, qualify smarter. Those who have specific green loan products obviously may pivot, right? Less demand as the time continues to adjust into 2028. Refis. It's so urgent right now to take advantage of this because we really don't know the market certainty as it goes up and down. So very important to take an eye on that because we want to keep an eye on obviously some of these deductions you could be taking advantage of now before 2028. We know, of course, the window will continue to drop. Again, I don't care what aisle you're on, blue, red, or whatever, representative power you have. The bill is going to affect every single person, right? It's in effect, it's signed, it's that's it, it's sealed. Whether you're buying your first home, investing in your 30th home, or really just trying to figure out your tax situation, so important to connect with someone like ourselves who just understands how it all connects. We will connect with your CPA, your financial advisor. If you have one or you do not, we will, of course, do those introductions. This is so much bigger than just mortgages. It's all about strategy, timing, and making moves, guys, as the door right now is open. If you would love a personal breakdown on how this law affects you or affects your potential clients, if you're a real estate professional or any professional for that matter, let's set up a call. Let's run the numbers. We'll break everything down and make sure you're in the best position possible for this bill to truly take advantage. And of course, make sure everything works out. Again, guys, Abdel Khawatmi, Got Mortgages. Appreciate you guys watching this. I hope this helps. Have a blessed day.